Channel 3, 10/26/2018, 2:11. Channel 3, 10/26/18, 2:17:34. Channel 3, 10/26/18, 2:19:35. Ten 26/2018, 2:20:07. Ten 26/2018, 2:21:28. Ten 26/2018, 02:28:38. 10/26/2018 to 11/10, Channel 4. Channel 4, 10/26/2018 to 17:43. Channel 4, 10/26/2018 02/21/37. Channel 4, 10/26/2018 02/28/54. Channel 6, 10/26/18 02/10/56. Channel 6, 10/26/18 02/11/28. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/17/33. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/19/37. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/21/28. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/22/42. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/24/29. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/25/34. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/27/09. Channel 6, 10/26/2018, 02/28/38. Channel 7, 10/26/2018, 02/11/03. Channel 7, 10/26/18, 02/11/10. Channel 7, 10/26/2018, 02/17/36.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What's this thing? Please don't have my counsel. Rodriguez Free States Report for May 26, 2005. And the notice says as a general rule, members of the victim's family should not identify a victim at trial where non-related credible witnesses are available to make such identification. This rule prevents interjection of matters not germane to the issue of guilt and ensures that the sympathy of the jury is not evoked by the emotional testimony of the family. So that's the general rule. So you're telling me you don't have someone other than the family members to identify the body as a credible non-family member to do that? Position is active for years. So you can do it for this and you can first of all say that representation is not credible. Secondly, in light of that, the defense is going to take a step that is occurred in the state rejecting that office and offering family member and claiming that they can feel about it and those instruments speak for a little bit of it. I'm going to say that back. Thank you. Anything else? I accept your representation. The biggest concern I have is anything on motion. She does not get motion. Where that's what this is all about.
question mark. Answer it.
That's all well and good. I don't know what the testimony of the witness is going to be, but they're indicating defense will stipulate to.
Okay, let's prepare a stipulation after common second. We're stating it on the record. Why does it have to be written?
What's that for you?
It's a written stipulation. It needs to be introduced into evidence and go back to the church.
So, Counselor, you going to do that?
We can just have it by me. We don't have a printer, and I can do it if she can print it out for us.
I mean, I don't think it needs to.
Sure. So stipulate to, stipulate to. And this is for the same thing for the, you said Anthony Williams, the same thing for the other electric.
Yes.
Yes, everybody agrees. Okay, so you can do that.
Okay.
All right, so who's next?
Chris Carter.
Who is it?
Chris Carter.
Can I bring the jury in now? You ready?
Yes, sir.
You ready, jury?
I'm Javi, and I got Botox Cosmetic. There was a particular photograph, the lines.
Jury entering.
Then you have, thank you. Please be seated and let the record reflect the presence of defendants as counsel, assistant state attorneys, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, we're glad the state is still on its case in chief, so I'm going to ask Madam Prosecutor, Ms. Bradley, you want to report your next witness, please?
Christopher Carter.
Christopher Carter, please. Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Carter?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Come on up here. This is our witness stand. When you get up there, sir, what I'd like you to do is just remain standing for a bit. Raise your right hand. You sworn?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you share in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your full legal name for the record.
Christopher Allen Carter.
Please spell the first and last name for the record.
KRISTOPHER
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Carter, that microphone in front of you will adjust up and down, not back and forth.
Sorry, repeat that?
It'll go up and down, but not back and forth. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, you may.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you today?
Good, yourself.
Could you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and say where you work?
I'm a crime scene investigator for the City of Fort Lauderdale Police Department.
And so, Investigator Carter, how long have you been with the city of Fort Lauderdale as a crime scene investigator?
I am coming up on 4 years as an investigator with the City of Fort Lauderdale.
Prior to working for the city of Fort Lauderdale, where did you work?
I worked for the Miramar Police Department.
What did you do for the Miramar Police Department?
I was a crime scene technician for about 3 years.
What were your job's responsibilities as a crime scene technician for the city of Miramar?
To respond to crime scenes and observe, document, collect, and preserve evidence.
When the 3 years you were there, can you give us a rough time frame?
I started about August of 2016 and transferred to Fort Lauderdale July of 2019.
What types of training and education did you have to work in crime scene?
I got my associate's degree at the Broward College in crime scene and also have over 100 hours in training related to forensics and crime scene investigation.
Are you required to do continual training on a yearly basis?
When able to do the budgetary reasons, yes.
With regards to the training and stuff that you've completed with the Miramar Police Department before you started engaging in casework, can you describe a little bit about that?
The training that I went through, like I said, was the associate's degree in the program through Broward College, and within that you are taught how to respond to crime scenes, how to observe crime scenes, how to observe evidence on crime scenes, and how to properly document and preserve those pieces of evidence and collect them.
Are you trained specifically in areas such as photography?
Yes.
What types of training and experience do you have in photography and documenting a crime scene?
During the associate's degree, I went through a particular class that was geared towards forensic photography, and that was aside from the main forensics degree program.
For forensic photography, what type of equipment do you use?
You use a digital camera, a external light source typically to better illuminate the pieces of evidence. That would be a flash, and that's about it.
I want to go to October 26th of 2018. Did you have an occasion to be involved in a Miramar police case investigation under case number 18-10-06269?
Yes, it did.
At that point, where were you employed?
At the city of Miramar Police Department.
What was your role in that case at first?
I was requested to respond to the Broward County Medical Examiner's Office to observe the autopsies that were executed there, and also to process one of the decedents, and then later on to process the vehicle that was involved in the crime scene.
So at the medical examiner's office, can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where that's located?
It is located in Davie. I do not have an exact address, but
Is it within the city of Miramar?
no, it is not.
So after you left the medical examiner's office, did you return to the city of Miramar?
Correct.
You indicated you helped in processing a vehicle.
Correct.
Did you take photographs while you were processing that vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Approximately how many photographs did you take?
I believe it was around 422.
Prior to coming into court today, did you have a chance to review a much smaller selection of those 422 photographs?
Yes, I did.
Are these showing you what's been marked as states D for identification? It's a composite of photographs. Did you have an opportunity to look through these before you came into court today?
Yes, I did.
Do they fairly and accurately represent the photographs you took on October 26th of 2018?
They do.
You're at this time, the state would request of states D and as states 30 and published to the jury.
Is there any objection?
No.
So they'll be admitted as composites, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
How many photographs?
I have to double check on that. Just a moment. I believe it is 65.
States D will be marked states 30.
I'm sorry, what number?
30. Thank you.
Investigator Clark, you can touch the screen as well to indicate areas of interest. 65 photos, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Starting with photo number 1, what is this?
This is a photo identifier that we would take prior to reprimacy to properly show the date the photographs were taken, the case number related to it, and the type of case and the location where the photographs were taken.
What location is 2811 Southwest 186th Avenue?
That is the Miramar Police Department substation.
Okay. The next photo, what are we looking at here?
This is a piece of evidence tape that was used to seal the garage that the vehicle was kept in.
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what is the evidence tape seal for?
The evidence tape seal is, like it should be explained, is seal to show that nobody has entered the premises from the time of when the investigator sealed the premises to when now I'm responding and photographing the seal.
Was this seal here at the bottom of the large doors still intact when you responded?
Yes, it was.
Moving on to the interior door. What are we looking at in this photograph?
Again, you were looking at a seal of evidence tape that was placed by the investigator prior to their leaving, and then when I arrived, I photographed the seal to show that it was still sealed upon my arrival.
Moving on to the next photograph. What are we looking at here?
This is Detective Mark Moretti reading the search warrant for the vehicle.
The vehicle in question, what is it?
I believe it was a Jeep Compass.
Is that the same that's indicated on that photo in the red lettered writing?
Yes.
Moving on to the next photo. What are we looking at in here? I'm going to zoom in here to the hood area.
That is another piece of evidence tape used to seal the vehicle in the same way that when we sealed the premises prior to a search warrant, the vehicle and all of its entries are sealed prior to the search warrant being executed.
So, for example, now looking at the screen down here at the bottom of the passenger side doors, that red item, is that the same evidence tape we've been looking at?
Yes, it is.
Moving on to the next photo. What are we looking at in this image?
This is showing the front passenger side portion of the vehicle.
Moving on to the next photo.
This is showing the exterior of the front passenger side and rear passenger side doors.
Have you begun executing and searching the search warrant at this point?
No, I have not.
So what is the purpose of all these exterior outside photos?
All these are to document the vehicle in which I found it when I responded to the search warrant, and all photos are taken prior to execution of the search warrant.
So again, going to the rear door seal, was that one still intact?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And the rear trunk seal, was that one still intact?
Yes, it was.
The initials MK that are on that, do you know who those belong to?
Yes, that is Michael Kelly, which
And-
was my supervisor at the time.
You read my mind as to my next question. On the back of this vehicle photo, what is the tag number of the Florida tag that was assigned?
India Echo Kilo Delta 22.
For those of us not in law enforcement, can you please translate?
IEK D22.
The India Echo Kilo Delta that you just used, what is that commonly referred to? The alphabet.
The phonetical.
Going on, what are we looking at on this image?
This is showing the driver's side exterior of the vehicle.
And going to the seals on this particular item.
Sorry, repeat that.
The seals right here on this particular area or item of the door, was it intact?
Yes, it was.
Moving on to the front door seal at the bottom between the front driver's door and the rear driver's door. Was this seal also intact?
Yes, it was.
As to the state of the windows of the car, had they been manipulated in any way while you were taking these pictures?
No, they were not.
Moving on to the final picture of the evidence tape here on the driver's side door by the A column near the hood. Was this evidence seal still intact?
Yes, it was.
What was the VIN or vehicle identification number of this vehicle?
3C4N JDD B2 JT 198929.
The first photo that we're looking at here was now inside the vehicle. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you're documenting in this photo.
From here, I took photos of the exterior of the vehicle. Then the doors of the vehicle were opened up, and as is, without anything being moved or disturbed, photographs of the interior of the vehicle were collected.
So you say without being anything moved or disturbed. What do you do to make sure that you're not contaminating any of the evidence?
I wear gloves prior to each time touching the vehicle, and that goes with touching my equipment, going back to the vehicle, and vice versa.
The front passenger side view that we're looking at right here. Later on are the items collected.
Yes, they are.
And we'll get to that in a little bit. With what area of the car are we looking at here in this next photo? My apologies.
That is the area between the front passenger seat and the door jamb for the front passenger door.
Okay. Next photo, what are we looking at here?
That is the front passenger side floorboard.
Moving on here, the seats, did you manipulate them in any way before taking this photograph?
No, I did not.
Moving on into the next photograph, what are we looking at there?
Those are gold caps for teeth.
And so it's clear that that's a close-up photo from this rear passenger door. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, that is correct.
When we're looking out this rear passenger door, what are you documenting in this particular area?
I'm documenting the interior of the rear passenger door and the door jamb for the rear passenger door, as well as the seat and the floorboard of the rear passenger.
Moving on to the next image, what are we looking at in this photo?
That is a spent projectile.
So I'm going to go back a photo. Is that the same projectile that is down here?
Yes, it is.
Going forward again, what are we looking at in this image?
That is the rear passenger side floorboard and the items that were found there.
Continuing to the next photo, what are you documenting in this image?
In this image, you can see the partial back of the front passenger side seat, the, again, floorboard of the rear passenger side floorboard, the rear passenger side seat, and a projectile hole that you can see defect on the seat.
And so I'm going to zoom in on an area. Can you explain what you're talking about, the projectile hole?
Yes.
And you can use this screen to touch if you're to draw attention to certain areas.
I observed a defect in the seat that is later on gone into detail.
Okay. Moving on to the next image here. What are we looking at?
This is the rear passenger side seat as well as the rear center console, and cup holders, and partial of the rear driver's side seat.
This area in the center with the two Sprite cans, is that how you found it in the down position?
Yes, it was.
In this image here, can you describe a little bit about what's the red and white plastic item on the bottom on the floorboard? What is that?
That is a plastic bag.
Okay. What are you documenting in this image?
This image shows the trunk which had been opened, and in the photograph you can see the car manual and a jacket.
Did you disturb any of the glass? Did any of the glass move when you were opening that trunk?
Not that I recall.
What are you, in this next image, I'm going to go back one. Did you open the rear trunk to get better photographs inside?
Correct.
Is this the interior of the rear trunk lid?
Yes, it is.
Can you kind of describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury as to how the trunk lid is, how you're taking the picture so they can orient themselves in space?
Correct. In this photo, the orientation is staying at the back of the vehicle. The hatch trunk is opened up, and I'm looking upward at the interior of the trunk.
And so why did you take a picture of this white fuzzy stuff?
I observed a projectile defect.
Moving on to the next photo. What did you document here?
This is a yellow jacket that was found inside the trunk that I observed red stains on.
Why would you document red stains?
Because of it presumptively would be blood.
Did you do any presumptive testing at this point?
Not at this point.
Moving on to this next image. What are we looking at here?
This is the rear driver's side seat from the vantage point of the driver's side to the driver's side door. It shows the driver's side seat, the driver's side floorboard, as well as some of the cup holders and rear passenger side seat.
Next image, what are we looking at here?
This is also another photo of the rear driver's side and cup holder.
Next image, what are you focusing on in this particular image?
This photo shows the rear driver's side floorboard, which has a Gatorade bottle, a cap, and a white plastic bag.
Moving on to the next image, what are you showing here?
In this image, this shows the interior of the front driver's side door and somewhat of the interior of the front driver's side seat and floorboard.
Moving on to the next image here, what are you looking at?
This image shows the steering wheel, partial of the front driver's side seat, the center console, and the side of the front passenger side seat.
On the next image now, we have a little bit different. Why do you put these yellow numbers?
These numbers, at the time I called photo markers, now with my agency I refer to them as placards, so I might refer to them also as placards. But these placards show and denote items of interest that will later be collected, and it's easier to recall back to a certain item and to show where that item is.
As you're documenting and collecting the evidence, do you use these photo markers in your reports and notes?
Yes, I do.
So, to go back to the photo of 1, 2, 3, 5, where did you collect the items at photo marker number 1?
Yes, I did.
Do you maintain the liquids that are inside of them when you worked at the Miramar Police Department?
I do not recall.
As to photo marker number 3, did you collect the items of evidence that were item number, let's see, item number 7? Did you collect that item?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
That was the spent projectile.
For item that's at photo number, marker number 8, what was that and did you collect that?
I believe that is denoting the pair of shoes. Yes, I did.
Okay. And to go to a better picture for photo marker number 9, Did you collect the item at photo marker number 9?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
That is a cell phone.
As to photo marker number 10, did you collect the 2 Sprite cans that were there?
Yes, I did.
Going on to the rear of the vehicle, photo markers 12, 13, and 14. Did you collect the various items listed in this photo?
Yes, I did.
Did you have help and assistance in processing this vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Who helped you?
Crime scene technician Tara Carroll.
Did you guys have a plan of attack as to how to process the vehicle?
We split up the vehicle into certain sections, and each processes areas of the vehicle and collected the items that were in relation to those areas.
So it's clear to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what section were you assigned?
I was assigned to the driver's side of the vehicle.
In your report, how did you write down which side you were responsible for?
In the report, it shows that swabs were taken from the passenger side of the vehicle, which was incorrect in the report, and was later shown as a correction in the primary receipts, as well as the original swab boxes that were collected on scene.
So let's stop for a second there and explain, when you're collecting swabs, what are you doing?
I am using sterile distilled water and placing that onto a cotton swab and passing that over, rubbing that over an area in which I either believe there may be the presence of DNA, and that area is processed with the swab, then placed inside a sterile swab box, and on that swab box I notate where that item was, or what item was swabbed with those swabs.
So let's go very minute, detail by detail. First thing you do is what? When you're getting the swab in the area, swab an area. Do you change your gloves?
Correct.
I want very precise.
Yes. I get my new pair of gloves out of the box and take the new sterile swab, open the swab packaging that is sealed and sterile, and open up a new sealed container of sterile water, and that water is then placed in drop form on the top of the swab, and then the swab is then rubbed over the area in which I intend to process.
Do you ever dip the swab back into the sterile water and sort of double dipping, for lack of a better term?
No, I do not.
Okay. After you swab the area, what's the next step you take?
The swab box is opened, the swabs are put inside the swab box, and then that swab box is closed, and then I notate on the swab box what item was processed with the swabs.
Do you complete the property receipt at that same time?
I do not.
When do you complete your property receipt?
The property receipt is completed later on in the office, when the item is then going to be submitted to the Evidence Bureau.
When do you do your report?
The report is done following, usually when all work is done.
Okay. So in terms of the most accurate description of what that swab is of, what would that be?
The note on the swab box.
Okay. So going back to the photos, in terms of the process and the timing, when you're doing the swabs, is it before these photos, after these photos, just so the jury understands the way you process the car?
The way I process it is I remove all items that are deemed as evidence, and I remove those from the vehicle. And then prior to any other processing, whether that be latent prints, the car is processed for possible DNA, and then from there to latent prints.
And to be clear, did you do any of the latent prints in this case?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Moving on to the pictures with item markers or photo markers 10, 11, 16 here. Were those items 16, 11 collected?
Yes, they were.
And forgive me. In terms of the numbers and the item numbers, was there a time or a number that you collected 1 through 15, 1 through 20, the items, and Miss Carol collected the others?
Yes, there were.
And do you recall which specific photo markers and items you were responsible for collecting?
I would have to refer to my report.
Would you look at your report and refresh your recollection as to that?
Yes, it would.
If I may approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Can you refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay, that being said, I'll ask again. Which items or photo markers were you responsible for collecting numerically?
Items 12 through 20 were the items that I collected.
In terms of these photographs, they were all taken by you. Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
Moving on to item number 18 and 17. Did you collect those two?
Yes, I did.
19 and 20 as shown here. Did you collect those?
Yes, I did.
What are we looking at in this photo here?
This photo shows the trunk portion of the vehicle with the hatch covering the spare tire removed.
The processing here again at the what location of the car on this photo or next one?
This is the front driver's side floorboard.
Okay, you have, and what photo marker is here?
19.
So what are we looking at here underneath the brake pedal?
That I believe is a spent projectile.
Is that then marked with photo marker number 24 that we're looking at in this photo?
Yes, it is.
And item number 23, the glasses case. You were documenting that? Sorry.
Correct.
On to photo marker number 25. Did you take these images here?
Yes, I did.
Photo marker 26. Did you take those?
Yes, I did.
Are these the items that were in the glove box?
Yes, they are.
In terms of this enterprise receipt that we're looking at here, does that vehicle description listed on this enterprise receipt and VIN number match the Jeep Compass that you've been looking at?
No, they do not.
And the name of the individual who rented this vehicle, was that on this enterprise receipt? On the, and not the Jeep Compass, my apologies, I'll rephrase. The enterprise receipt, did it have a name of a renter on it?
Yes, it did.
And what was that?
Jamerson Francois.
I'm going to move on to the next photo here. What have you done to document the scene in this photo inside this Jeep?
In this photo, it shows trajectory rods that were placed inside of the projectile defects to show an approximate path of the projectile.
Excuse me, can we approach? Sure.